ब्रह्मचर्यव्रती दंडी सर्ववेदांत पंडित श्रीमद्विवेकयोगी मां प्रचोदयतु सर्वदा. In the last class, we just peeped at Raja Yoga as expounded by Swamiji, especially with the Western audience in front of him. We shall go into some more details of that introduction to Raja Yoga. As I always emphasize that Raja Yoga is a security check. When we climb to the Himalayas, slowly we go on shedding the extra luggage. Finally, when the last climb to the Mount Everest takes place, or Kailas, we can carry only ourselves and probably a cylinder of oxygen, something like that, I don't know. Similarly, we had been loading our mind through several births with all unwanted details of a worldly life, worldly aspirations, worldly interest, worldly involvements. It is very difficult. But through Bhakti Yoga, if we had been sincere, we could make some of them lighter and brighter, shedding the worldly encrustations from them. So, Bhakti Yoga is a technique which we have seen, which will purify your thoughts. They won't ask you to remove your thoughts. Purify your thoughts, make it lighter and brighter in the shine of your love for the Lord. So that is how Bhakti has purified us. But still, our minds are filled with many a thought. So, now as we pass through the path of Raja Yoga, the steps of Raja Yoga, what more should we achieve? Remember, we have always to hold one key with us. The key which Swamiji has given to all those who ever read Vivekananda literature. That is our sacred mantra which will guide us on our onward, forward journey. The goal in life is to manifest the divinity by controlling nature, external and internal. So in Bhakti Yoga, were we able to control our nature? We purified it, we sanctified it, but still some selfish motivations all are still sticking on to our bhakti. So, with this key, we will take a look at it again. Just as the mountain climbers need to carry oxygen as they ascend the heights, so also the seekers of truth need to conserve and control their pranic energy to delve deeper into the secrets of their very being. Our great rishis finally fully realized that we have to control the workings of the mind, otherwise the ascent will become almost impossible. So, for this, they perfected this superfine technology of Raja Yoga, acclaimed all over the world today as the most effective technique for self-enlightenment, thanks to the light shown by Swami Vivekananda. This is the surest scientific way to claim the health, wealth and happiness that lie deep within us. deep within us. When we say deep within us, where do we start going into the depths? Now we know only our external life, material life. So we have to take a turn towards the inner journey. Anyway, let us see. Religion is probably the one and only guide for us as we know today. So let us see how Raja Yoga and religion, they come together. How? What is it happening? Religion, as it is generally taught all over the world, is based upon faith and belief, and in most cases consists of only different sets of theories. And that is the reason why we find the religions quarreling with each other, that my belief, my faith is different from yours, mine is the best, etc., etc. In India, we have always recognized that religion is deeply connected with one's knowledge of oneself. That is where it mixes with Raja Yoga. Connected with one's knowledge of oneself and is therefore based on experience. True religion in Indian tradition is self-realization and consists of the human mind recognizing within it the Satchidananda, existence, knowledge, bliss. Raja Yoga embodies the technique of transforming knowledge of the self into personal experience. This is important. I will tell you why. This exact time-tested technique Swamiji unfolded before the world audience in response to the ever-daunting question, has religion any true basis? See, what happens is, in many of the other religions, one or two persons must have experimented with themselves and gone deep into themselves and realized the truth. But they have not developed it as a science of self-discovery, as a science of self-realization. So the coming generations who did not know how to move across in this line, so the religions came to be based on just faith and belief. So and so has told us, our prophet, our teacher has told us this, and we believe in it. Nobody to question that. Nobody has the right to say that those beliefs were wrong. So in India it is not like that. Everybody was given a chance to question the teacher. Our Upanishads, our Bhagavad Gita, they are full of the student questioning the teacher. So they questioned the teacher, they extracted the knowledge, experience from them, then experimented it on themselves. So like that what happened, this science lived ever fresh, ever fulfilling, ever active from generation to generation. We never lost it. This early observations or early experience of self-realization as the goal in life or the goal of religion, that continued in India ever fresh. So in that process, probably Raja Yoga has played a very, very dominant role, because this is the technology by which you can experience the experiences of our teachers. See, Patanjali has taught us this, not as a blind belief or faith. Patanjali has given enough instructions so that anybody can repeat the same and harvest the same experiences which the earlier teachers received. So that had been the strength of Indian philosophy. Why Swamiji loved India? Because here is a philosophy, here is a science which is not only universal, But any Tom, Dick, and Harry who is sincere can practice it and get the beatitude of self realization. So, that is how the science of Raja Yoga has been carried from generation to generation.